Okay, looks like I'm in business today. Hi, everybody. It's almost 1 o'clock. I'm a little early today. Um, Different view of my desk. I know you can see my computer and stuff here in the background. Oh, I forgot to turn my light on. Look at that. Anywho, um, it's been a very busy day today. Obviously, you can see I'm like batting 1,000%. Um, where'd that go? I shoved everything to the back so you wouldn't see all of my crazy stuff. And some of my stuff is just not happy and not working today. Oh, here we go. There we go. Now you can see my face. All right. So hi everybody. Like I said, it's 1 o'clock. It's Monday. Here I am. I showed up a little early, so I figured I'd just jump right on. So today I am going to talk to you about Tour de Fleece, some stuff that maybe you should have in your toolkit, some stuff maybe you haven't thought about before, that would be helpful for you to have so you can get your wheel all up and running. I know this is something we've been talking about on our Discord for the Guild. And then I'm also going to talk to you about combo spinning, because combo spinning is something that a lot of our guild members in the Greater Los Angeles Spinning Guild are going to be doing for Tour de Fleece this year. So I wanted to make sure I could explain to you what combo spinning is, how you can go ahead and do it. It's a really great stash buster because you're using, in most cases, a lot of stuff you already have in your stash. So we'll talk about that too. But first things first, we're going to look at what is in my toolbox. So I know I showed you last week that I am doing the majority of my spinning on a Hansen mini spinner. That is my main wheel. This is Baby. That's her name. And this is the box that I carry around in my bag with Baby. She fits right on top. It's got a ceiling lid for it. Still got plenty of room for other things in here. So I want to show you what it is that I have so you can kind of get an idea of what you might want to have in your spinning kit. And some of this stuff you might not even need to use, but I don't know, maybe you'll get some ideas. As you can see, I have a lot of stuff jammed in here. Okay, so first things first, in the bag of the Hansen mini spinner, I have 2 batteries. I have this battery, which is an older battery. This is about a book size battery. As you can see, it's about the size of my hand. And then I have a smaller battery. This is my newer battery. And I keep these fully charged in my bag prior to Tour de Fleece. These I keep, obviously if you have a regular wheel, you're not going to need something like this. But basically these I have as my power source. If I'm out spinning in a park someplace, I don't have to worry about having a plug. Right now, my spinning wheel is attached to a power strip that I have located back behind the spinning wheel on top of my desk here. So right now it's plugged into power, but when I'm traveling, this is my power. So you want to have perhaps more than one battery just in case you have a fail. So these are 2 things that I absolutely need for Tour de Fleece. Those are just located in my bag. Those I don't have in this thing here. And then I have this for my Rav Power battery pack. That's an instruction book. Actually, I should take all this out and then I'll just put it all back in again. Okay. So, you will get to see I have so many things. Now, some of my stuff is kind of all, sometimes I just throw things back in here and it's just like, hey, what's up with this? Okay, so Rav Power booklet, a couple things from Hansen mini spinner information, tiny little booklet there. Okay, then I have, oh, I don't need that. In this bag, I have, this is a static electricity drain jumper. So if I need to install this, I have the extra piece and it's available and it's in my toolkit. I have the instructions on how to put together the bobbins when I'm not using a woolly winder. That's something that is going to be coming in where I'm going to talk to you about. I'm using a woolly winder on my spinning wheel, but if I weren't using the woolly winder and I was using my other flyer, this would be for those bobbins. So that's put away because I'm not using that. And then let's see what else I have here. I have all of the paperwork for my Hanson Crafts mini spinner is in this. So if I have a failure of any piece of my spinning wheel during Tour de Fleece, I know that I have all the instructions here on how to repair, including stapled to each one of these is the piece that I would need. So here are my woolly winder Allen wrenches, an extra screw, and some extra little plastic bits that are parts of the woolly winder. I have that here because I'm using my woolly winder. I have more information on my woolly winder. I have the Hanson Crafts brake tension, extra parts. I have this bit, that's like the manual, the basic manual. And then I have my woolly winder flyer bits and additional tools. So I've got my drive band in here, I've got a tensioner in here, I've got everything that I would possibly need for my woolly winder. All of that is together with the paperwork, and this lives in here. So if I have any failures at all, I have all of the tools or parts that I'm gonna possibly need for this particular wheel. Now, in general, I might have more than one of these things around, but because this is my main wheel, I'm going to show you what I have here. I have additional things about, this is for the other flyer. This is not for the woolly winder, but I have that information. I also have the receipt. So all of that stays in my box. Okay. I have power cords. Now this particular power cord is for one of my batteries. So if one of my batteries dies, and let's say I'm at a hotel or something, I can go ahead and power up my battery again. I have another power cord. This is for the other battery. Also goes in my kit. So now each battery has its own power cord. That all lives in there. I have additional attachments. So if I want to try to hook things up to my computer, let's see if I want to, oh, see, I've got more than one of these too. I've got a bunch of USB attachments and plugs that go here, all of which live in this box. I have the car lighter attachment for power. So if you are running on an e-spinner, in general, most e-spinners, I believe the electric eel wheel, which a lot of people are using, also come with a cigarette lighter adapter for power. So if I wanted to spin on the dash of my car, I could do so as well. So these are like all of my power attachments. Those also live in here. Okay, so then let's see what else I've got. I am not sure what this was for, but I think these are additional attachments should I have any reason to try to attach my wheel to something. I have additional ports, etc. That all lives in here. I'm gonna be honest, never used them, so I don't have that. I've got more doodads here for electric. Looks like some of this is probably for the battery, so I could probably go ahead and charge my phone or many types of phones from this particular thing. so I could plug those in and use those for phones and other electric equipment too. That also goes in there. That does not go in there. Okay, I have another drive band for my wheel. So extra drive bands. Let's say I break this one and I break the one that's attached to, oh, I think I just did some thumbs down thing or there. But anyway, so let's say I attach and break both my drive bands. I have a third one. So I have an attachment for my phone. My particular phone is an iPhone. So I have this should I need to power an iPhone off one of my batteries. I usually store, and I have it down here, in my Zucca bag. This is an Acreworks, it's covered in fur and fluff, an Acreworks Lazy Kate. So, and it's pretty banged up. This is what I was just using to wind off one of my big bobbins, but it was very heavy, so you can see where I scratched it. But if I fill up a bobbin, and let's say I'm running low on bobbins and I need to find a way to ply something while I'm out, this comes as a flat pack, so you can see this is how big it is. It fits in the side of my bag. I can then go ahead and pop this up. It's got tensioners right here. And then I can use this to ply off of on the fly. It's got rubber bits on the bottom, so it's not going to skip around and move around on the table. And I could do plying however I want to, and it fits in my bag, so I don't have to worry about looking for a Lazy Kate. So that will be for my bobbins. And because I have this in my bag, I have additional tensioners that are in my toolkit. So if you have a portable Lazy Kate, I highly recommend it. Recommend having one with you if you're going to travel, or if you are going to be doing tour de fleece in a park or something like that. You never know when you might fill up one of your bobbins. And let's say somebody, and there are people out there who might only have like 3 bobbins for their wheel. You're going to need to ply that stuff off on a different bobbin so you can go ahead and spin another single or whatever. This is a really good tool to have. I highly recommend the Acreworks flat pack. Okay, then I have this handy dandy thing, which I feel everybody, regardless of whether you have an e-spinner or not, you should have something like this. It's a multi-tool, pen multi-tool, I guess you could say, that's got all sorts of screwdrivers in it, screwdriver heads, so that if anybody, whether it's myself or somebody else, has a problem with their wheel and they need a screwdriver, I have this in my kit, so they can take apart their wheel for whatever reason. Or, you know, you never know when some screw is loose and somebody needs to tighten up their stuff, then they could go ahead and do that. I really did a number on putting those back in there, but bloop, bloop, bloop. There's that one. There's that one, and oh, maybe I couldn't get that one in last time. We'll do this. So just go ahead and pop that baby in, and I think there's a way to tighten it up, but you catch the drift. Anyway, screwdriver in the thing. Okay, then I have all of my orifice reducers, and as you can see from any time that I've been spinning on this video, I don't often use orifice reducers, but if I had to, I have different sizes. So the Hands and Crafts mini spinner, which like is my favorite mini spinner, comes with these different sizes. I don't know how well you can see that, but these are my orifice reducers, should I feel I need them. So I have those. And as you can see, I have this handy dandy little thing over here, which I will show you. Orifice reducers. This is the attachment, spindle attachment for the Hanson Crafts mini spinner. I'm going to try to use this for tour de fleece, for spinning cotton. For me, what I need to figure out is the forward revert. It just like, it keeps thinking I'm doing thumbs down. But anyway, it's the forward and reverse that I'm going to be playing with, because I don't usually play with that on my Hanson Crafts mini spinner. So I've got the spindle attachment, and I could use this. Where this goes is you stick it right in here, and then it comes off the front. So you wouldn't be spinning on the back where the bobbin is. You would be spinning off the front here, down this way. Okay, so it would be right there. So I have that with me for spinning cotton. I have a diz. Now, a diz is usually what you would do for different fiber preps. You could, when you're spinning, you put your fiber through the diz, and then you know you're getting the same amount of fiber. You should be getting roughly the same amount of fiber through it. But so I have one of these in here should I ever use it. I don't often use it. It's made out of a coin. I don't know if anybody can tell that, but yeah, so that's a diz. Yeah, I keep that in there should I need it. And then I also have from Gwen Powell is a reps per inch gauge. So if I want to go ahead and figure out my twist angle or how thick my yarn is, I have this, and I could do my reps per inch based on this. So this tool is also in my kit. A reps per inch tool is great if you are the type of person who is a very specific spinner. And like I spin by feel, so a lot of times I don't use a WPI reps per inch tool, but you know, on occasion it might come in handy if I need to know, oh, is this going to be like a fingering weight or what have you. I don't normally I don't check my twist. Like I said, I do everything by feel, but there are people who are very specific out there who are very methodical and want to reproduce maybe a type of yarn that they've used before. This is something that's very good to have in your toolkit, a reps per inch tool. So something to think about. And then let's see, what is this? I have optional accessories for my Acreworks flat pack stuff. So bobbin bumpers. I probably should have used one of those, and then I wouldn't have scratched mine up. But you know, hindsight's 2020. So there we go. I've got those in there too, and my little Acreworks tag. I'm basically a pack rat. I keep everything. Oh, directions on how to use my spindle. Also in there. So there's all my little paperwork off to the side, and everything else fits in this box. Then I have, let's see which end I can get open. It's a mini spinner kit. And I'm going to be real honest. I had 2 kits, and then I added some of my own stuff to it. So I think it's really important that everybody has at least a basic kit for their wheel, whether it's an e-spinner or not an e-spinner. I'll be honest, this kit has come in handy for every single one of my wheels, not just the Hanson Craft mini spinner. And I'll show you why, because there's some stuff in here that I would never think to put in my little kit. So for the Hanson, I've got drive band, tension band. Oh, look, I can bust all of my bands and we're going to be fine. Here's another tension. All of those together in my cute little thingamadoo. Extras, because you should always have them hidden somewhere. You never know. This is a pink paper clip that I have unfurled to make an orifice hook. And this is my extra orifice hook. I have an orifice hook for this particular wheel that's here that looks like, I'll put it on top of something black here. That looks like this. So it's like a, what would you call this? Like, like a nylon-y type of plasticky loop. It operates a lot like if you've ever used a needle threader, it's like that. So I put this up through the hole and I can grab the end of my yarn and pull it through. It's got a big bead on the end. So that is the orifice hook for my Hansen mini spinner. But just in case something happens, I have this pink paper clip that I have fashioned into an orifice hook. You never know when somebody's going to need something, so that's good. Then you can see I have a lot of lubricant. I have 2 containers of the Super Lube. The interesting thing was this kit came with the Super Lube, and then I later found out that there was a better lubricant that I could be using for my woolly winder, because in general, there's not much that I have to lubricate on the Hansen mini spinner. But Super Lube in general is a good lubricant to have for your wheel. It is like, how would I explain it? It looks like, here's a Kleenex. It's like a gel, right? So I could just pipe it out and it pipes out. You can't see that. Anyway, it pipes out like a little gel. You probably can't see it there either. But anyway, comes out like if you had a tube of Neosporin or something. That's what this stuff is like. So regardless, even though it's not one that I currently am using, I keep it in my kit. I also have a spare. This one goes in the box. These are things that I keep in here because inevitably you're going to be with your friends spinning and somebody's going to need something. So it's very important you have those things. I have also 2 pairs of tweezers. These did not come with the kit. I put these in myself because you never know when you're going to need something where, let's say, for example, you got some fiber caught in a place that your fingers can't reach. I have these 2, and this one, these very, very sharp, pointy ones, have come in handy in trying to get fluffs that I've gotten stuck inside. Let me show you. Okay, so here's my wheel. Here's my woolly winder. As you can see, there's a channel here with a big screw in it. So the channel, I've had to pick things out of that channel with this. It comes in handy when you're out spinning with your friends and you don't want to take apart the woolly winder, because taking it apart involves, like, you have to take out the screw, you got to pull everything out, you have to clean it really good, you have to undo this. Like, you're basically taking this piece out and taking all the pieces apart. And there are some small pieces. You don't want to do that while you're out on a picnic table or something. So if you have just, like, you know that you got some fluff stuck in there, these tweezers are fantastic for it. I don't know where I got them from. I think they came in some kind of jewelry or clay kit. I took them out of a different kit that I have. So I use these tweezers, and then I have a pair of just standard cheapy tweezers that I keep in my kit just in case I need to get something out. Let's say, something's stuck, back behind where my drive band is, I can pull it out. Because you want to keep that stuff clear so you're not jamming up your stuff or anything stops midway and snaps your yarn. That's an old sticker. I also have this lube. This is the lube that I'm currently using. So this is also Super Lube brand. This is multi-use synthetic oil with silicone. And this is the type of oil I use. The part that needs to be oiled is this bit inside the screw for the woolly winder. So that's the part that I need to keep lubricated. It makes sure that my wheel is quieter. I don't do it as much as I should, but do as I say and not as I do. This is the stuff that is good for the woolly winder, and it's more liquid like, so it's easier to move in and out of these screws, because the screws in this channel you really can't reach unless you have this with the long nozzle on it. So this is fantastic to have. And this is now my go-to lubricant for my woolly winder. So that I have in here as well. A couple other things that are important to have that you may not think about. So let's say you're using the lube that's kind of like the Neosporin. I keep extra cotton swabs in my toolkit in case I need to. I don't want to put my fingers on it. I can use the cotton swabs. Those go in my toolkit. Cotton swabs. And because I had two toolkits and I put them together as one kit, I have two of these dental tools. Also fantastic for getting schmutz out of places you can't reach. Also good for inside the woolly winder. Just be very careful that you're not scratching things because they are very sharp. I have punctured my skin before, but if you need to get things out of stuff, a dental tool is a fantastic tool to have in your spinning kit. I swear by it, and I've used it many, many times. So that is probably something not many people would think about having in their spinning kit, but I can assure you, you will probably at some point need one. It's kind of the way of the tweezers too. So we've got that. And then last but not least, oh, I also have a pair of scissors. The scissors are not currently in my kit. They're currently in my bag in one of the pockets. But I have a pair of foldable scissors that I keep in here as well. I also keep bungee cords. So these are really, really great for, like, I have things strapped to the side of my bag. Or let's say I need to like bungee something down. They all fit together. So I could go ahead and like bungee things down should I need to. I probably didn't do that really good, but you know what I'm saying? Like they're all like just small bungees. So I mostly use these for the tools that I keep in the outside pockets of my bag to keep things strapped. I have a very large table because I spin on top of my Zucca bag. I also have, you guys are gonna be like, what the hell? I have a large table that folds. My dad made this for me the last time I was visiting my parents in Michigan. It's covered in all kinds of cool stickers and stuff and drawings from my kids. Pigmon. So it's folds open and then it goes over the handle of my bag. I just have to make sure that kids don't lean on it because then it might tip up. It's not like the sturdiest thing, but it helps if I need to have stuff on the table and I need to maybe make a little bit more real estate for me to put my wheel and stuff on. I have this with me. The bungee cords help with that. And then also things that I did not show you that you should keep in your kit. You should always have string or like old yarn, small balls of yarn. A lot of times I will have just random bits of fingering weight yarn in my kit. Today, when I was scanning up my yarn, I used this, which is leftover yarn that I won in the Rathlet Guild, and I've been using it to tie my skeins. This is something you want. Also a reason why you should have scissors in your kit. So scissors, string, tags. If you have paper tags for your stuff, so a lot of times when you get your fiber, it has a tag on it. You can write down the fiber content, the dyer, yardage if you have a yardage tool, or let's say you brought a nitty knotty with you and you're doing it the manual way, figuring out what your yardage is, and your nitty knotty is like a 5-foot stretch. You can do the math and figure out what your yardage is and put that down and then tie it to your skein yarn when you're working on that. Another cool thing to have is one of the women, our former Tour de Fleece captain, keeps those Tyvek strips that people use for like wristbands in her kit and a Sharpie marker. Oh yes, you should have a pen in there, but a Sharpie marker with a Tyvek strip, and you can just put the Tyvek strip around the skein of yarn and then label it as such. That way you can also soak it. And it's my understanding if you have the Tyvek strip and you use a Sharpie marker that it will stay even through your soak. So you could skein it up and tag it prior to washing your yarn. So that's another thing to think about. So there's all my stuff. Fits in this handy dandy container. Obviously, like I said, minus the scissors. The scissors are in another part of my bag. So I have all of this, and this is what I keep in my bag, and that's my toolkit. So with that being said, since Tour de Fleece is coming, I wanted to talk to you guys about combo spinning, because this is something that a lot of our folks are going to be doing. Now, oh, I have a sequin. I just found a sequin on my computer. We have, what we're doing for this next meeting is a combo swap. So first things first, let me explain combo spinning. Combo spinning is taking multiple braids of fiber in your stash that you may not think would go together, and then taking them apart and ripping them into strips and then spinning them all together. So prior to the combo swaps that we have through Guild, I did this. This is a combo spin. And the cool thing about this is that I honestly didn't think they would go together. Basically what I did was I found a couple braids in teals, purples, gold, like there's some brown in here, just kind of like swampy colors. I don't know how to explain it. And then I mixed it with neon green. And I thought, there is no way in hell all of these colors are going to go together. Yet they somehow do. And the cool thing about the combo spinning is that, let's say you have 3 or 4 braids in different colors and you're really not sure what to do with them. You could mix them together, and then that way you will have enough fiber or enough yarn once it's done to make a very substantial garment. I have more than enough yarn here to make a sweater, a very squishy sweater. And it's super squishy and soft. I would say this is next to the skin squishy. I know there's some BFL in here. I know there's merino in here. There's probably a boatload of other things. Maybe like there's something that's got a little bit of a sheen in here, but I don't know that it's necessarily like a silk blend. I don't know. Like some of this is just, it's a mystery. It's a mystery, but that all went together, and now I have enough yarn to make a sweater. So this was a combo spin that I did quite a few years ago. I want to say this probably happened during COVID, or just prior to COVID, when, you know, I feel like I was at home a lot. I don't know. So that's this. Then once COVID was done, we started getting back together and we started doing things called combo swaps. So basically the premise is you bring in a bunch of fiber that you don't think you're going to use, but it's nice fiber. So like I have merino here. I have mystery fiber. I've got some rambouillet. You can see I was going for like, most of this I was going for a particular thing. So, and this is cumulus. I'm actually bringing cumulus to the swap, guys. Lord help me. But anyway, I found this cumulus in this color that I was like, I'm kind of iffy about it. So this is the stuff I'm bringing to the combo swap. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of these fibers, I'm going to rip them apart into like 1 ounce bundles, And the amount of fiber, because I have a scale, I'll be weighing all of this. The amount of fiber that I bring to the swap will be the amount of fiber I will leave the swap with. So these are the fibers that I'm going to be putting into the swap this year. But I don't know what colors I'm going to get back. So it's kind of really a mystery in that I'm going to be going with all these blues and purples and a little bit of rainbow, but I might come back with hot pink and green and a brown. You don't know. So if I were to take, let's see, 4, 8, 12, let's say I'm taking 12, I'm going to use 12 for the sake of ease. I'm taking 12 ounces of fiber to the combo swap. I will leave with 12 ounces of fiber. The issue is that I don't know what color I'm going to leave with. Because the way the swap is done, I'm going to go with 12 ounces and I am going to get a number. And then it works a lot like the NFL or the NHL draft, and it's a snake draft. So if I get number 12, then I have to wait for 1 through 11 to go before me to pick their fiber, and then I'm the 12th person and I get to go. And then I would have to wait till it snakes back around again, and then I would go again. And there have been times where we picked out 1 ounce per visit, or we would do 2 ounces per visit. So if I have 12 ounces, it really is going to depend on what did the people before me pick, what's left over. So you might end up with a complete clown barf. It could happen. Or you could end up with something really crazy and you would look at it and be like, there's no way in hell these colors will go together. But they somehow miraculously do. So this is what I'm bringing to the combo swap. Now, with that being said, our very first combo swap that we did through Guild is how I ended up with the fiber that I used for my pin loom weaving. So as you can see, I'll pull a couple of these out. This is what's left over from my combo spin. I had the tomato red. If you pick 12 in the first round, you will pick first in the second. Okay, but not quite. Because, like, let's say 40 people are taking part. If I get picked 12, then I have to wait until they get to 40. And then they'll start at 40 and then go back to 12. Hopefully that makes more sense. Because there's more than 12 people taking part. Maybe? Anyway, thanks for the correction. I don't really do sports except for hockey, and I don't pay attention to the draft. So anyway, hopefully that makes more sense. So I ended up with like a tomato orange was the first color I picked, and because I was feeling very daring. And then I ended up with like various shades of green and hot pink. And then I made it into, there was like a pale pink too in here. And I made it into what I call vintage Christmas. And then what I did later on is I mixed it with aqua and became more vintage Christmas. But you can see, like, normally people would be like, these colors are not going to go together. And yet I put, pastel pink and pastel green together with tomato orange and hot pink. And it works, right? So I have that. Then there was last year. Now, I can't make any statements as to whether this will look good in a garment, but I went clown barf. So this was last year's combo spin from the combo swap. I ended up with colors. I believe most of these colors were solids. So I have red, yellow, green, lavender, blue, It gave me, there's some orange in here too. It gave me parrot vibes, but I think what will happen with this particular yarn when I finally make something out of it is I'm gonna have some stripiness in it. So, oh, there's pink too. It's gonna have some stripy vibes, but as you can see, it's like, what are you talking about, Stacey? This looks like clown barf. But I think it's gonna look cool once I knit it. Anyway, so this is just to say, like, you could end up with anything. It really is a mystery. And then you're going to be spinning it and you're going to be like, this is the ugliest stuff I've ever seen in my life. And then once it's done, you're kind of like, oh, yeah, it's not so bad. Like, it kind of works out. So this one is going to be an interesting knit. I haven't found the right pattern for it yet. I'm not entirely sure what the yardage is. I have to run it through my yardage counter. But yeah, like, that's it. Now, with that being said, you could go to a swap and you can get a bunch of colors, and then, like, let's say you have another color you think will go with it, you could throw that in there too. So, like, I'm holding aside this neon green, and I don't know, we'll see what happens, because I thought about putting this in the swap, but I'm like, no, I think I'm going to keep it, just to see what happens. Maybe I'll put it with my new swap stuff. I am taking a lot of fiber for the swap though. Last year, a couple of my friends came with me and they didn't have stuff. So I just was like, hey, I took 12 ounces, you take 4, I'll take 4, and we'll call it a day. So let's see if I can hold it down there. I'll hold it here too, so you can kind of see. It's really kind of wild, right? Like, I'm not sure what it wants to be yet. So it's been sitting in my stash. But it's, I mean, the thing is, you're supposed to bring in fiber that's nice fiber. The nice thing is that a lot of people, like, remind people not to bring in mohair because I'm allergic to mohair. So that kind of benefits me, but it really is kind of fun, and you, like I said, you never know what kind of stuff you're going to end up with. It sometimes is really hard to see until you actually finish it, and then you're like, oh, interesting. This is not at all what I thought it would be, which is definitely the case with this and with the shawl pin loom stuff that I made. But it's just as easy if you don't have a group in your area that you can do swaps with, to just take some random colors out of your stash, and you're going to get so much more yardage, and you're going to have enough to make sweaters. Because I think that a lot of times people who are doing spinning will buy a braid of fiber, and you're like, okay, hey, like, I got this one braid of fiber and it's really cool, but what am I going to get with just 4 ounces? Like I can't make a sweater out of 4 ounces. But if I took this 4 ounces and I mixed it with this, oh, okay, well, that's kind of different. And the whole point is, you just take these fibers, rip them into pieces, rip them into strips, mix them around, shove them in a basket, and then just randomly pick colors out and spin them in that order. You don't even have to have a particular order. It all depends on what you feel. And like, I had this fiber in my stash and I'm like, what the hell am I going to do with it? And now, like I said, I have a sweater's quantity of yarn here that is really, really pretty. And I was able to sneak in my neon green, which is a color that is definitely my jam. So, it also gets you a little bit out of your comfort zone when it comes to color, because a lot of times people will gravitate towards the same colors and their stash will be made of just teal or just purple or what have you. And I definitely was one of those people that at a particular period in my life only got teal and purple. So I was able to take some of those things and mix it with brown and gold and neon green and come up with this. So it definitely helps extend your yardage and get you something that maybe might be a more substantial project. Because another thing is that I think a lot of spinners don't necessarily knit very many projects with their spinning. And I'm trying to be better about that, because I am one of those people as well. For this, I don't know, this could be like a really squishy cowl, or I could use this on the pin loom and it may come out totally unexpected and not at all how I think it's going to go. So it'll really be interesting to see how this one turns out. But like I said, I haven't quite felt in my heart what the project is for this one yet. So these are in my stash for when I actually knit something in the future. Right now it's all about spinning. So that's it for today. But if you have any questions, you can hit me up on social media. I'm not terribly good about broadcasting when this is happening, even though it happens the same time every week. But I'm trying to be better about pimping myself out. So definitely feel free to hit me up if you have questions about combo spinning or what have you, or I don't know, if you want to come to a guild meeting, if you're local and you want to take part in the combo swap, you can do that too. Just bring any kind of wool fiber, and if you don't have a scale at home, I have a scale here, but they will have scales at the guild for measuring out 1 ounce chunks. So probably next week, what is next week? 2 more weeks? 2 more weeks. After I do the combo swap, I'll go ahead and post what I got, and then we can talk about that. I'm not going to be spinning my combo swap for Tour de Fleece because I'm doing cotton spin, but I can show you what I got, and we can talk about what we think this might look like.